Right. Now today we'll discuss about steady flow energy equation. Very important. Compulsory essay will come on this topic. You will get a problem. Right. Very easy. Right. So we already discussed about types of energies available. Okay. Right. So in steady flow energy equation, let us consider a control surface. Let us consider a control surface. Here one is the inlet of the surface and 2 is the outlet of the control volume. One is entry and 2 is the exit. Okay, so right now it is, let us say we are discussing about open system. Yes or no? For flow process, flow process means both heat and mass can cross the boundary. Okay, now so therefore you can see here Q is the heat added to the control volume. Due to the heat addition, let us say W is the work, shaft work produced by the control volume. This is the system. This is our system. Okay, right. So now the inlet of the system is at a distance of or at a height of Z1 from the datum, or it is a reference. It is a fixed one. Okay, and the outlet of the system is at a height of Z2 from the reference. We can say datum at inlet is Z1, datum at outlet is Z2. Okay, and heat we are supplying at section 1 and work we are getting at section 2. Okay, let the properties of the fluid at inlet section are the pressure equal to P1, velocity is V1, and specific volume is small v1. Remember, capital V is velocity and small v is the volume, specific volume, and internal energy is U1. At inlet section, we are assuming 4 properties: velocity, pressure, specific volume, and internal energy. In the same way, at the outlet section, the pressure is P2, velocity is V2, internal energy is U2, and specific volume is small v2. Okay, now where Q is the heat added at 1 and Ws is the shaft work produced by the system. So these are the what we can say assumptions we are assuming, right? Now here we are assuming the species of energy or we are considering our internal energy. That is, what is internal energy? The energy stored by the fluid internally, right? So if you remember, for isothermal process, how the work is going to done by the expense of its internal energy, because the temperature is constant. Okay, right. Now here internal energy is stored by the fluid, that is we are assuming one energy, and kinetic and potential energy, because there is change in the datum, we are considering potential energy, and there will be change in the velocity of the flow within the system, therefore we are considering kinetic energy, right? Flow work which is required to push the fluid in or out of the control volume, yes, and heat and mechanical works, heat Q, mechanical work W, right? So according to continuity equation, what is continuity equation? Mass is always constant. We cannot create or we cannot destroy. The amount of mass entering into the system should be equal to the amount of mass leave from the system. Okay, right. So here small letter are considered for specific property, right? Capital U is the internal energy, small u is the specific internal energy. If you remember, capital U is the equals to internal energy. Anything, any capital letter is internal energy here. So the units are kilojoule. If I write small u is equals to capital U by M, specific terms, right? This is called specific internal energy. Specific internal energy, the units are kilojoules per kg. Not only this one, anything. Capital H is the enthalpy. This is in kilojoule, and small h is equals to enthalpy per unit mass. This is called specific enthalpy. Specific enthalpy can be written in terms of kilojoules per kg, right? Similarly, V is the normal volume, and small v is equals to volume per mass. This is in meter cube. This is in meter cube per kg. Any property per mass is called specific property. Remember, internal energy with respect to mass is called specific internal energy. Enthalpy per mass is called specific enthalpy, right now? Right. So usually Q is the heat supplied in kilojoule. In terms of specific terms, small q is equals to kilojoules per kg, nothing but capital Q by M. Right. Now come to our topic. Right. So internal, these are the energies we are considering. So according to conservation of mass, the mass entering should be equal to mass leaving, right? So the energies at the inlet are internal energy plus pressure and volume. You can see, right, the properties of pressure and volume plus kinetic energy plus potential energy plus heat supplied. So these are the energies at the inlet we are assuming. Internal energy and the product of what is P into V? P into V is called, anybody, where V is the specific volume? P into V is called flow work, it is, right now. If you
Yes,
remember,
sir.
flow work is the P into V, right? So this is the flow work. What is flow work? Work in our work required to push the fluid in or out of the system. Okay, and then kinetic energy, then potential energy and heat we are adding at the inlet. That should be equal to where M1 is the mass at inlet and M2 outlet mass, internal energy, then what is this is flow work, kinetic energy, potential energy, and due to the heat addition, Ws is the work done by the system. So this is the steady flow energy equation by considering internal energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, flow work and heat and work, right? So this is the standard equation. The only thing is depends upon the units required, we can rearranging the terms. So if you use this equation, the units you are getting are kilojoules directly. You will get the units are kilojoules. Suppose if you want in terms of specific terms, what you need to do? You need to divide the terms with the mass, right? So that one. So this is the above equation is the general equation. It is applicable for compressible, incompressible, fluids, liquids, and gases. Okay, right. According to continuity equation or conservation of mass, we know that mass flow rate is constant. Therefore, m1 is equals to m2 equal to constant. Therefore, I can cancel m1 and m2 because according to conservation of mass, m1 equal to m2, right? So if I cancel m and m, right? So and again we know that what is how to define enthalpy? How to define enthalpy? Enthalpy is equals
Sum
to
of internal energy and the
the
product flow
sum
work.
of internal energy and product of pressure and volume, right now.
U plus
So
PV,
H
sir.
is
Yes, sir.
yeah,
U
U
plus
plus
PV.
PV is called enthalpy. So therefore here I can replace U plus PV as enthalpy. And these are specific terms, therefore enthalpy is also specific enthalpy. Therefore U1 plus P1 V1 can be replaced by H1. Okay, and V1 square by G, sorry, V1 square by 2 plus ZZ1 plus Q. MM is cancelled and this is the equation, right? So if I cancel M, what I need to do? I need to replace capital Q by small q, because you need to, if you divide with mass on both the sides, m will be cancelled, because there are two terms are left hand side, two terms are right hand side. I can't cancel directly m and m. Suppose if the q and w are absent, then I can cancel m. Otherwise, I need to divide the both left hand terms and right hand terms with the mass. If I divide left hand terms with mass, this m will be cancelled and q by m will become small q, that is specific heat. And similarly, this m will be cancelled and ws by m will become small w, that is the specific work. Okay, so here if you see, this is the we per unit basis. If we divide with mass, so this is the equation we are getting. So directly this equation units are joules, right? So but here the units are joules per kg, because let me choose the pen. It's not right. Right. So the units here are joules, here we are using, and with respect to mass, if you divide the equation, left hand terms with mass and right hand side with mass, so mass will be cancelled. Here ws by m will come and q by m will come. This mass will be cancelled. Q by m is called specific heat q and ws by m is called specific work small ws. This is joules per kg. Suppose if you want the units per time, right? So at that time you need to consider mass flow rate per time, right now, where m star, m dot is called flow of mass per time, the rate of fluid flow. Rate means with respect to time. So at that time we will get the units are joules per second, right? So the generalized equation is this one. This is the fundamental equation you should remember. So depends upon our conditions, we can change the equation with respect to the units. Right. So now we'll see the applications of steady flow energy equation, where we can apply these equations, right? So this steady flow energy, the name itself, it indicates that where the fluid flow is there we can apply this equation, right? So many applications are there in our mechanical engineering. So some of them are in power plants. In power plant, we have turbines, pumps, right? Boilers, condensers, nozzles and diffusers. The main application is in our power plants, right? So there, wherever the fluid motion is there, we can apply the steady flow energy equation, right? So turbines we can apply, engines we can apply, boilers, condensers, pumps, compressors, nozzles and diffusers. Now we will see one by one the application of the steady flow energy equation, right? Now, can anyone tell me what is nozzle?
A passage of varying cross section designed to increase the velocity.
Right, passage of varying cross section. It is designed to increase the velocity. My question is the which is nozzle here? No, is this is the nozzle or this is the nozzle? Which is nozzle, first or second? 1, 2, 2 are there. What, this is nozzle or this is nozzle?
Both of them are nozzles.
Who told?
Convergent, second one is divergent.
1 second, let me
Both are
let me
nozzles,
check. 1 second.
Both are
Both are nozzles.
nozzles.
Who is that guy? Diploma people, please give quiet, because you might have studied about this. Regular people, please tell me one or not. So generally our so far we studied about nozzle. The nozzle purpose, we assumed that it is used to accelerate the flow. So the nozzle is used to accelerate the flow. So in that case, we assume that always the nozzle area should be converged. Agree? If the area decreases, what happens to the velocity? AV is equals to constant. So A is inversely proportional to 1 by V. If area is less, velocity is more. Therefore, in that fashion, we assume that always nozzles are converging, but it's not correct. Right? So nozzles may be either converging or diverging. It depends upon the Mach number of the flow. Agree? You don't know about Mach number, right? Let me define what is Mach number. Time being, you will study in detail about Mach number in coming semesters, that is in fluid mechanics. Okay, right. Basically, a flow can be characterized, right? So based on their Mach number. So Mach number is denoted with symbol M. It is defined as the flow velocity to the sound velocity. Just time being, you remember flow velocity to the sound velocity, right? Suppose if Mach number is less than 1, conditions are there, is equal to 1, is greater than 1, is greater than 5. Okay, if Mach number is less than 1, I can call that flow as subsonic flow. When the Mach number is less than 1, when this condition will happen, if you see this ratio, when this ratio is less than 1, when flow velocity is less than sound velocity. Agree? When flow velocity is less than sound velocity, in that case the ratio is less than 1. Agree? What is the velocity of sound? Value, sound velocity, approximately
300 meters per second.
370.
300 meters per second.
300 or 320 or 310, right? Or approximately, let us say 320 meters per second. If the flow velocity is less than this, then we will get the Mach number value as less than 1, right? So then Mach number is equal to 1. We can call this flow as sonic flow. Right, M is equals to 1. I can call that flow as sonic flow. Sonic flow conditions prevail when flow velocity is equal to sound velocity. When both numerator and denominator are equal, then the ratio is equal to 1. And when M greater than 1, we can call it as supersonic flow. Supersonic flow means flow velocity is greater than sound velocity, right? And M greater than 5, we can call it as hypersonic flow. So where these conditions exist in the space, when aeroplanes are moving, then the Mach number of aeroplane is more than 5. So this type of flows are called hypersonic flow. In that condition, flow velocity is much more than sound velocity, 5 times more than. right? Just time being, you know what is Mach number. Mach number is flow velocity, the sound velocity. So from your mind, remove the concept that always nozzles are converging. No, it's not correct. Nozzle may be either converging or diverging, right? So sometimes the diverging passage will act as a nozzle, but it depends upon the Mach number. So in order to study in detail, you should know the area velocity relationship, but it is out of our topic. So if you know area velocity relationship, then we can say that the given cross section will work as nozzle or diffuser, right? So if anybody interested, call me personally, I will send the notes for that. Okay, but as of now, it is not required for me. Okay, now. So means you should remember that nozzle is not a convergent, it may be a divergent. Clear? Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
be both converging or diverging. These two will be acting as a nozzle, but it depends upon the Mach number. It depends upon the Mach number. Okay. Right. Now tell me, is there any moving parts in the nozzle? Are there any moving parts in the nozzle?
No.
No,
Fluid, sir.
No.
only fluid is moving. Nozzle is stationary, right? Now, in the absence of moving parts, what is there any shaft work in case of nozzle? In the absence of moving parts, the shaft work is equal to 0. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. And let us assume the nozzle is well insulated. The nozzle is well insulated means no heat is added to the nozzle or no heat is removed from the nozzle. Q is equals to 0 or Q addition is also 0. Means it is well insulated. Therefore, it is adiabatic. Right now, therefore Q is equals to 0. And let us assume the nozzle is placed horizontally. Let us say if this is my reference. From the reference, both the outlet and inlet are at the same level. Z1 and Z2 are at the same condition. Z1 equal to Z2 provided the nozzle is in the horizontal direction. Okay. So if you substitute these three conditions in this equation, so Z1 equal to Z2, so these two will become 0. Okay. And there are no moving parts. Work done is 0. And it is well insulated. Q equal to 0. You left with only HV1. H1 V1 on left hand side, H2 V2 at right hand side. Agree? Application of nozzle, sorry, applying the steady flow energy equation to the nozzle. I am telling.
Yes.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So in the absence, we have V1 square by 2 plus H1 is equals to V2 square by 2 plus H2. Right? Send this V1 to the right side, H2 to the left side. Then what we will get? V2 square minus V1 square by 2 is equal to H1 minus H2. This is the steady flow energy equation. Why the screen is not full? Let me check. Right, gone. Right. Now I can change the color. Right now. So in the absence of this, the equation is reduced to V2 square minus V1 square by 2 is equal to H1 minus H2. What is the meaning of V2 square minus V1 square by 2? V2 is greater than V1. Agree?
Yes,
or
sir.
no?
Yes, sir.
Right? Means increase in kinetic energy is nothing but decrease in enthalpy. H1 minus H2 is nothing but enthalpy is decreasing from inlet to the outlet. Right now, means in nozzle the velocity is increased by using its enthalpy, by decreasing its pressure, because enthalpy itself we have U plus PV, pressure terms are there. H is equals to U plus PV, right? So enthalpy drop is taking place along the length of the nozzle. Enthalpy drop is nothing but pressure is going to decrease. When pressure decreases, velocity increases. This is the application of steady flow energy equation to the nozzle. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right now? Right. Next. Our next application to the diffuser. Right. As I told, if you see the right side, which type of passage is it is? Converging, right now? Please look at the PPT. This is converging. This is also converging. What is the difference between these two figures? Tell me. The only difference is Mach number here. Here, for this passage, the flow Mach number is less than 1. Means the velocity is less than sound velocity. And for this flow, for this passage, the Mach number is greater than 1. Therefore, the flow velocity is greater than sound velocity. Here, the flow velocity is less than sound velocity. Right? The same cross section is acting as nozzle as well as the diffuser. Agree? Look at the board.
Yes.
The same
Yes, sir.
cross section is acting as nozzle here, but the same cross section is also acting as a diffuser. But the only difference is the Mach number is going to change. Here the Mach number is less than 1, but here the Mach number is greater than 1. In the same way, here I have a divergent passage, but it is acting as a nozzle for me. And here I have divergent passage, it is acting as a diffuser. But here Mach number is greater than 1. Therefore, if the flow passing through the diverging passage, this will act as a nozzle. And if the Mach number is less than 1, if the flow is passing through the diverging passage, then it is called as a diffuser. It depends upon the Mach number. It depends upon the Mach number. Okay, right. So in diffuser also there are no moving parts. So therefore W will be 0, Ws will be 0. Let us assume it is well insulated, Q is equals to 0, and let us say diffuser is horizontal, Z1 is equals to Z2. In the absence of that, the steady flow energy equation is reduced to, so what will be there on the left hand side? H1 plus V1 square by 2 is equals to H2 plus V2 square by 2. Same equation for nozzle and diffuser. Clear now? What is the purpose of main purpose
Yes,
of
sir.
diffuser? Main purpose of diffuser is to increase the pressure, and main purpose of nozzle is to increase the velocity. To increase the velocity by expense of its enthalpy or by expense of its pressure. In the same way, the main purpose of diffuser is to increase the pressure by expense of its velocity. Okay, na? Right. If you see here, a diffuser is a passage of varying cross section that is used to decrease the velocity of the flowing fluid. Why we are decreasing velocity? To increase the pressure. Okay. Now you can see when the fluid is when the flow is subsonic. What is subsonic? Mach number is less than 1. Here you can see here. When the flow is subsonic, the cross section of diffuser will diverges from inlet to outlet. Diffuser here, this is diffuser. When Mach number is less than 1, the passage is diverges. Diverges means the area is increasing. Diverging is nothing but increasing the area. This is for Mach number less than 1. And when the flow is supersonic, supersonic means Mach number is greater than 1, then the passage is converging from inlet to outlet. And that is reverse for the nozzle. Right now, in case of nozzle, if you want to write, how to write? When the flow is subsonic, when the flow is subsonic, for the nozzle I am saying the cross section of the nozzle is converging from inlet to the outlet. And when the flow is supersonic, the cross section of the nozzle is diverging from inlet to the outlet. Okay, right. Clear diffuser?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there will be a theory behind this, how it is acting as a nozzle for m less than 1 here, and how it is acting as diffuser for m greater than 1. For that you should know area, velocity, pressure relationship. If you want really, I will show that equation in the next class, or else if you remember this thing, it's sufficient. Okay. Now next application, boiler. Okay, so I think diploma people already studied about boilers. Okay, right. Now what is boiler? Generally, boiler is a device which is used to generate the steam. We can call boilers are also a steam generator. So in the boiler, the input is water and heat. The output is the steam. There are no moving parts in the boiler because inside the boiler only tubes will be there. Right. So boiler means we have, let us say, a drum will be there. A drum will be there. Inside the drum we have the tubes like this. Let us say here cold water in. Here hot water out. How means cold water is converted into hot water. Now if you increase the further, we can get steam also. If right. So for that, what you need to do? You need to supply the heat. How to supply the heat? You need to supply the heat by using furnace. Right now, by burning a coal or oil in the presence of air, heat will be liberated. That heat will be utilized to convert the water into the steam. Right now, so means water is in liquid phase and steam is in gaseous phase. Means in the boiler, phase is going to change. Phase change is taking place. There are no moving parts because the tubes are fixed, right? So in the absence of moving parts, Ws will be 0. The shaft work will be 0. Okay, but we are adding heat, Q will be present. Okay, let us assume the velocity of the flow is constant within the boiler. At that time, I can say V1 is equals to V2. Okay, right. If you come to here, now no shaft work, Ws will be 0. And we are assuming that flow of water. Now here we have tubes actually. Strictly speaking, here tubes will be there. Like this. Set of tubes will be there. Right. Again, boilers are of two types, water tube boiler and fire tube boiler. So depends upon the type of boiler, the position of the gases and water are going to change. If it is a water tube boiler, inside the tubes water is flowing, outside the tubes are exposed to the hot gases. That is in case of water tube boiler. If it is a fire tube boiler, inside the tubes hot gases are moving and outside the tubes are surrounded by the water. Okay, that's okay. Leave it whether it is water tube or fire tube. Okay, now so there are no moving parts. W will be 0. Shaft work will be 0. And we are assuming that the velocity of the fluid is constant. V1 equal to V2. Therefore, kinetic energy can be neglected. Right now, so far we neglected shaft work is 0 and V1 equal to V2. We are assuming the velocity is constant. Okay, again we are assuming that we are neglecting the datum. So the datum, there will be change in the datum. If you see, this is Z2 and this is Z1, but for simplicity sake, I am neglecting Z1 and Z2 also. Datum is same. Then in the absence of that, what you are getting? MH1 plus Q is equals to MH2. Right now, left hand side we have MH1 plus Q. Right hand side we left with only MH2. Right. So therefore, Q is equals to M into H2 minus H1. What is Q? Q is the heat supplied. So heat supplied is used to increase the enthalpy of the system. We are adding the heat to the boiler so that the enthalpy of the system is increasing. Thereby, the water is converted into the steam. You need not to know how the boiler is going to work at this point of time. You should know if you apply the steady flow energy equation to the boiler, what the final equation we are getting. That is my aim. Right now, so Q is equals to M into H2 minus H1. Right now, so this is the application of steady flow energy equation to the boiler. Okay, so turbine I will discuss in the next class. Okay, we'll stop today. Let me stop recording. Yeah, if you